3 more people have died in Hammanskraal due to the cholera outbreak. This brings the death toll now to 15. The Department of Health and Water and Sanitation have now also sent technical teams to the area to assess the water quality. Several people are reportedly also in hospital recovering from the outbreak. We're told their condition is critical. Now, let's give you some background to the story. Back in 2019, the Water and Sanitation Portfolio Committee requested government's intervention in the water crisis in Hammanskraal. Let's get your reaction now almost 2 decades, I should say, after this issue first started. The chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation, Robert Mashego, joins us this morning via our Zoom line. Robert, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for coming on. In fact, you know, I've got some documentation here in front of me from February of 2020. That was when the Portfolio Committee talked about the fact that it had visited Hammanskraal, the fact that the water was not drinkable, and that there was no movement insofar as addressing the water crisis in Hammanskraal in the 5 months since its visit in 2019. We're now sitting in 2023, Robert, in the midst of a cholera outbreak.
Good morning to the listeners, and welcome everybody else. Yes, indeed, in that day when after visiting, we took some decisions, and we asked the department to collaborate with the city of Tshwane through the mayor. The program of what we have agreed upon. Unfortunately, the city of Tshwane has been very unstable. Consistently, when we are supposed to meet with them, the mayor has been changed, or the mayor is not available. Everything was not happening. The people of Tshwane have been fed with water that has been not been cleaned. It was never processed. There was no chlorine in the city of Tshwane to clean the water. It was just feeding into the Apis River, which was filthy. And people were drinking that water from that particular point of view. And we asked them to prioritize a tracking system to feed the people, but the city was not party to those particular agreements, all of them.
Yeah, the agreement for the expansion of the Rooiwal wastewater treatment plant was signed as far back as October of 2019. And again, just as we track the timeline of how this crisis has unfolded in Hammanskraal, Robert, are you saying that a large part of the inaction of the Department of Water and Sanitation and the city itself is because of this revolving door around the leadership there?
Yeah, part of the bigger chunk of it is like that. But remember, the issue of the water system started at a time when immediately when the administration changes from the ANC to the DA, the DA then decided not to continue with the agreement which was there for the cleaning of the water by a company which was appointed by the ANC, which was very correct politically. We did not have an issue with that. But they did not then put something that will have to replace that company, which might have been appointed by them. So since then, the water was not necessarily being cleaned in Tshwane, and it was then feeding into the Apis River with filthy water. Yes, it is not only the issue of politics, it's also the issue that there is no capacity in the city of Tshwane to deal with the bigger issues that is there. But when we want to intervene using Section 154, you remember, they went to court and they stopped us from intervening using MEC Maile in Gauteng to intervene and take over those functions. They refused and they took us to court.
It's very interesting that even in 2020, what the Portfolio Committee had to say insofar as how the city was dealing with this water crisis in Hammanskraal, the committee said that there needed to be a limit on the use of water tankers. The committee finding in its work that this issue of contracting water tankers for the provision of clean water was incredibly susceptible to corruption. That's very interesting now because that's what the city is relying on, Robert. They're relying on water tankers for access to clean water in Hammanskraal?
If you look into those water tanks that they are using, they are sole providers from one point, and those people are in actual fact, we are suspecting that they are contributing into the uncleanness of water, because as in when you put apparatus to work on cleaning of the water, it gets vandalized, and we suspect that it is vandalized for business purposes. We are not sure of that, we have not proven it, but it is our suspicion. That is why, by that time, we insisted that we need to minimize the usage. We can't rely on people to serve our people with water, people that we do not know where do they get the water, whether the water they serve itself is clean water.
So,
because they might be
so Robert, you're saying it's in the interests of even the suppliers of water tankers that the water treatment works in Tshwane, including Rooiwal, is not fixed.
It is. It is because it is their business for them to service people with water. So it is not in their interest that the water must be cleaned, that the Rooiwal must be cleaned. Because once it is cleaned, then their business is not perished. It is our view.
Sure. What are the next steps that the Portfolio Committee can now take, given that you've visited as far back as 2019? You'll tell us when, prior to 2019, these oversight visits were conducted by the Portfolio Committee as well. But what I have in front of me is 2019, 2020, a communication with the Department of Water and Sanitation saying that it's taking too long to get this issue in hand. What next steps now, 3 years later, can the Portfolio Committee take?
We know that Deputy Minister Mashego was there yesterday. We are having a meeting today at 9 o'clock to get the progress report from there. We are going to visit that area tomorrow ourselves, and then from there on we will be in a position to take proper decisions. That we think that this time, I have heard Mayor Brink. He seems a bit positive from the previous mayors that we had in Tshwane. If that posture that he had is sustained, I think we are going far, because he is now starting to agree that Tshwane does not have capacity and is not capable to deal with the bigger issues of water in Tshwane. So if that is agreement and it's a base of our work, I'm sure our intervention will continue. We remember we do take Tshwane to court, but I think it's a dynamic which we need to avoid a bit. But if we are not getting help, what can we do? But as I'm saying, today we've got a meeting at 9. We'll listen to the deputy mayor, the deputy minister. Then we go to see ourselves tomorrow. From there on, we'll decide as to what steps are going to do. But we are not going to take any decisions. The decision is that there must be intervention using the district development model to have a one-stop shop in order for us to can help Tshwane, especially because the Mayor Brink is capable of, is promising to work with the department in order for us to help people of Tshwane.
I mean, it's shameful, Robert, that all of these meetings are now taking place, right? There's a renewed sense of urgency now for the residents of Hammanskraal and the issues around clean drinking water. But 15 people have already died as a result of this cholera outbreak. It's too little too late that government now has this sense of urgency in dealing with this problem.
First, our condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones. But it can't be correct to say the department is now jumping into action today, because, as I have said, the department with ourselves has been working hard to want to get the city to work with us. As I'm saying, we took decisions, they took us to court. We go there, they go to court. Because, remember, local government is not a branch, it's a sphere of government. For you to enter, you need to follow certain procedures. Now, Tshwane is using those procedures to block intervention by the department, intervention by any other body outside themselves when they have got no capacity. So it is not about that we have just been sitting and doing nothing and waiting for this disaster to happen. No. you remember MSC Maile applied Section 154 there, and they went to court and they won it. It was reversed. So it is not that we have been just sitting and doing nothing. We're doing something, but the city of Tshwane, under the DA leadership, was refusing intervention. They were simply refusing.
Robert Mashego is the chairperson of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation. Robert, thanks for your time this morning. The Portfolio Committee, we're told, will be visiting the area tomorrow as part of its oversight duties. Make of that interview what you will.